The effects of a chemical attack are devastating. Bravo Company of 40 Commando are training to survive and operate in a toxic environment. This is the final stage of exercise Toxic Dagger. The men are attacking a building with a potential chemical threat.
What's happened is within this building we've set up a CBRN lab, and it's a chemical-based lab where the enemy are preparing a chemical projectile. 40 Commando are now ingressing into this area and trying to attack and nullify the enemy.
There's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes to understand the latest CBRN threats and how best to protect those who may face such attack. One of the first precautions is to wear the chemical protection suit and a respirator like this.
You're generally a lot heavier and a bit more cumbersome, you're a lot larger, and it makes actually walking and talking to each other very difficult. The respirator itself makes it harder to look around. Your field of vision is a lot less, and therefore aiming and firing your weapon is a bit more difficult.
They're likely to be the first troops on the ground, but toxic exposure is a significant risk, so it's important these Royal Marines know what they're dealing with. That's why the Defence Science and Technology Laboratory is supporting them.
Roughly we have a few thousand scientists, subject matter experts, who can give these guys the technical advice they need to have the impact up front end, and that has been proven over this exercise that the advice we give them actually makes the war fighting faster and more flexible approach to it.
It's no idle threat. Suspected chemical weapon use in Syria has been widely reported over recent years, something its government strongly denies. As the lead commando group, 40 Commando would be the priority response to any government tasking. Just last year, they were the first troops on the ground in the aftermath of the Caribbean hurricanes. Now they're trained in CBRN threat, they'll be ready to respond at short notice.
It went very well. As always, in a CBRN environment, it is complex. We have to fight through those complexities. There are things that we'll definitely take away from today. We'll build on it. We need to make sure that we maintain this capability over the next 12 months and build on it into the future. But yeah, a really good starting point, really good foundation as we've built up over the last 3 weeks, and we'll build on it into the next 12 months as well.
CBRN warfare isn't a short evolution. Decontamination takes time.
It's not just about engaging with the enemy and fighting them. There's a whole side about the chemicals that we might come across, whether it's like biological, radiological, and then we have to know sort of the groundwork toward what chemicals might be out there, and then how it affects us and how we fight.
Muffled by his respirator, the first casualty of 40 Commando's Bravo Company shouts "Man down." Drowned out by the firing, it's down to him to start treating himself. By the end of this 3-week exercise, Bravo Company will be the most advanced among British land forces, not just testing the Royal Marines on their ability to lead an attack in a chemical, biological, radiological and nuclear environment, but also their medical response to casualties.
There's no radial pulse and he's not breathing.
So everything's done a lot slower here just because of the nature of the chemical agents we're going to come across. In terms of the CASEVAC, that's a big one for us. Not just dealing with the kinetic casualties, we've also got to think about chemical casualties and then the clean and dirty process that goes for that. So it's quite manpower consuming.
500 metres away is the casualty decontamination tent, manned by Commando Logistics Regiment medics and members of the Royal Marines Band.
First of all, they come here and they get triaged, so a standard medic sits out the front and he decides priority who's biggest sick, and then they come in here to dry decontamination, and this is where the main medical treatment is performed, but also they need to have all their dirty kit stripped of them, so we pretty much get them naked down to the bare minimum, take the respirators off, and it's usually a cleaner area, and then further on they go to wet decontamination where they are literally hosed down of any kind of remainder of what they've got.
A high volume of casualties put the team through their paces.
2 times unconscious at the front of the wagon.
We've obviously just had quite a lot of casualties just come in, so that was a bit of an eye-opener, because normally we'd have 2 or 3 perhaps, so 8 into 1 is quite hard work because it means everyone needs to get involved moving the casualties. Obviously there's quite a few big lads and they've got all their equipment on them still. They're quite heavy.
With the casualties dealt with, the rest of Bravo Company arrive for decontamination. As the lead commando group, 40 Commando would be among the first to respond should the UK government deploy land forces on operations with a risk of CBRN attack.